I think coming off of Disney, like with Kim Possible specifically, I was like, no, like women in the same room is like really intoxicating for me. Like anytime, like even when I go to like mom events, like if I go to mom events and you can see that these women are just like dying for female energy, you know, like outside of like their husbands or their kids.
Right. I wouldn't know that, but I get what you're saying.
It's so wonderful to like come home from them. You just feel so good about yourself.
Oh, I love that.
When you can be like surrounded by like supportive women that are like enjoying life.
I know, and I think it's the patriarchy that makes us believe that we're not, you know, simpatico. It's
Can we
so
talk about jealousy
frustrating.
for a second? Because we'd mentioned this before. You were like, we have these parallel careers, but like there was this strange like jealousy to be friends. But then I actually want to address at other times how we had these parallel careers, but that there was all this jealousy to like kind of like try to either compete with similar roles because, you know, we were both Belle.
Yes.
But I actually am curious if you had auditioned for Belle at the same time that I had auditioned for Belle?
No,
When I was 19.
No, honey, you're so much older than me. Why would you? I'm just kidding. I don't know why I think that's so funny. No, I didn't. I auditioned for Belle one time and one time only. And that was the time I got it.
All right, interesting. I wonder why first of all, I wonder why you weren't on the short list because they were desperately looking for somebody on the network and you were on the network for sure. But maybe you were like actively on the TV show too.
I could have been. I think I was sort of. I think it's a lot of things. You're just overshadowed. The focus isn't on you. It's the same thing. People didn't know.
That was like the era of Raven being really front and center.
Yeah, of course, that was the way it was going, and I was fine. I don't know. I think if you're not pushing, saying, look at me, it's not going to happen. And I've just never been that person.
Yeah, it takes a lot of energy to be like,
I've never been that person. I'm actually like, my mother I remember when I would do a show, she'd come to the theater she would never have flowers for me. And she would never say she was proud of me in front of anybody. She never wanted anyone
This is your mother?
Mother.
Oh, man.
And she loved me. And I knew she thought I was talented. And she'd say it in the privacy of her own home, but never in front of someone. She never wanted anyone to think she was a stage mother. And she wanted people to think like, this is just my life and my career and I take it seriously. So I don't need
you.
Yes, that me. Okay. Sorry. So anyway, I think I always did this modest thing. I suck. I even think Chelsea was like a little bit me in the sense of sort of hiding herself or being.
Well, I got to be honest with you. I felt like you were kind of sometimes treated like a prop.
Oh, for sure. And sometimes I let that happen, you know. Well, and I was young and I was just happy for the job and still am. My gosh.
Yeah, of course. It's not like you're not grateful.
No.
Look, I don't know why I got off topic with this but when we talk about folks like Liz who are inviting so many different voices to the table and how does she unites people, I think it's really poetic that like we've united. And like, I remember, okay, so here's a story. I'm a little scared of how you're going to take this.
Oh.
But when I came to see you, I thought you didn't like me for like a little bit.
Oh my God.
I know. But
well, I am really surprised, y'all. I'm really surprised about this conversation. I was like, is she gonna say something I know already? Wait a minute. When did you meet me? When did we?
So here's the thing. I came to the last performance of Beauty and the Beast. And
I don't even remember.
It's okay that you don't.
Sorry.
And this is all in the past anyway. But I do think it's interesting because I came to that last performance of Beauty and the Beast because they invited all the Belles to come. And it was a huge press blitz.
Oh, yes, we did that photo on the stairs or something.
Is that what it was?
With Debbie Gibson.
Oh, wow. Like all the Belles were together or something and they had us do. Wow,
yes.
that's like
13 of us.
It's like piecing it together, right?
Yeah, I remember that.
But I remembered
And you're in that photo.
And I hope so. But I remember feeling so triggered by having to, like, because after Belle, I would wake up in tears and I had nightmares of doing, like, I was doing the kicks from Be Our Guest. Yeah. I would literally have this. I'm not even fucking kidding.
No, I don't know. People probably don't even know what we're talking, you know. Obviously, there's a kick line. Yeah. There's a kick line in Be Our Guest. It's a big part of the show. And I just know exactly what you're talking about.
You do?
Funny. Yeah. Well,
I had nightmares.
Yeah, I'd have nightmares that I wouldn't do the kicks. I mean, it's the same nightmare of like going on stage naked or forgetting your lines. But
I never had recurring nightmares. Even now, I don't have them. I cleared those.
Okay.
But for me, that stage fright that we've talked about in the past was so real that like going back to Lunt-Fontanne, or did you move? Were you always?
No, we were always Lunt-Fontanne, yeah.
Going back to that, you know, and I had that whole psychic thing happen to me there, like right at that stage door. And it was just like, it brought up so much in me that I think I projected it onto you because I was like, doesn't she want to meet me? Like, doesn't she want to like see me? And so it was.
I know what that's like though. I do that all the time with people. I think it's ego a little bit, right?
Total ego.
But that stems from insecurity. And I know exactly what you're talking about. But no,
But then I was like, no, but like this is her time and I need to like understand that. And it was a little humbling to come back, and I hadn't been working, and I think I had been like, I'd seen a lot. It was just a really rough time for me.
Right.
So I think I was jealous of where you were because had I not gone down a dark path right after Belle, I felt like, oh man, like it was just me projecting 100%. I'm totally working and unpacking this right now.
I'm sure it's a lot of that, and I'm sure I could have done a better job of including you and including everybody, staying in the moment, remembering. Of course,
you were going through your shit.
Well, and also we had Donnie Osmond that last night, and I just remember like, freaking out about that because you have to have an extra rehearsal, and my mother come into town, and it's just
a lot.
All of it's a lot.
We
but
need to
I've
recognize.
never not liked you. I've always liked you. Good. I liked you the second I met you on Circle of Life.
Oh, me
Isn't
too.
that where we met?
Yeah, I liked you too.
Oh, I liked you.
You were the
so
same
real.
person then.
Yeah,
Better. You're better
and
now.
And so nice to us. It was like you really.
I really
honestly,
wanted to be your friend.
It seemed like you needed Raven and me.
I did.
It seemed like you were struggling a
It
little bit in
sucked.
some way.
I didn't have any friends because Shia was friends.
Also, I was like, you got your breasts done at 19, and I was like, I mean, no judgment, but I was a little like, wow.
Is she okay? Kind of thing.
Little.
Yeah, no, I wasn't. So, but so I don't know what it was. But it did feel like this inherent like girls need to be like competitive with one another.
Again, it's brought to you by the patriarchy that this thought that women can't get along, that we don't get along. It's just not true, and we just need more opportunities to do that. But I won't keep preaching and saying the same thing. I'm sure Liz will come in and talk about that in a much more eloquent way than myself. Have you ever had I think these auditions too. One time, let me tell this quick story. One time I went to an audition for Chicago the musical. And I got down to the last bit, and it was me and I
know where this is going. Was it?
What?
Go ahead.
I'll tell you. So it was me and another girl, and I won't say her name. I won't say this girl's name, but we were the last two, and we knew it was one of us. We knew it was one of us, and we were sitting outside, and I was kind of trying to bond with her outside of the rehearsal room where we were auditioning, and I was kind of like just complaining in a way that actors do, and I was
I've done that too. I did that to Lindsay Lohan, and it backfired.
Oh my
badly.
God! Oh, of course, this backfired. Okay, you got to tell me that.
Okay,
but then,
okay.
we have so many. But we were sitting in the rehearsal thing, and I was saying, oh, God, can you believe we've been here so long? I can't believe they keep us here for so long. It's been 6 hours. You'd think they'd feed us, something like that. I was like, I got to catch a flight. I really don't know what I'm going to do. And what she said to me is, a lot of people would feel really lucky to be where you are right now.
What the fuck?
I was like,
read the room.
I wanted to say, do you know who I am? No, of course. She put me in a hole.
Well, you wanted to say that.
She was messing with me.
You wanted to say it out of defensiveness.
I was like, "What are you talking about, girl? I'm not really complaining. I'm trying to bond with you about this situation." And honestly, we were there way too long, and they ended up giving the part to Ashley Simpson. Who wasn't even there to audition. But it was like, girl, come on, we've been rehearsing. And I was like, she was trying, she wanted to freak me out. She wanted to mess with my head. And she absolutely did. I'll never forget it.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Ew. Who would you
I've never been that girl.
You type A.
I have never been that girl to be in an audition room and be a shitty person.
No, we're supposed to be the actors who talk shit about the, the audition process.
Well,
how hard it is to audition. It's so hard to audition. And you don't get paid to audition. You don't get paid to learn all that stuff. You don't get paid to fly out and all that,
Well, that's a part of this whole.
You got to tell me the Lindsay Lohan thing.
Okay. So, oh my God, are we sure? Oh my God.
We can save it for some other time.
Oh no, let's do it. Okay. So basically, I was at a club.
What had happened?
And I was Belle, and I was at a club in New York, and I saw Joey Fatone was there, and then Lindsay Lohan was there, and I'd never met her before, and I had heard some things. I'd heard some things. I'd heard some things, and I was like, I'm gonna try. Maybe she's misunderstood. She's a little younger than me. She's cool. Like, let me try to go in there, and like, I'm so socially awkward.
Let me save her.
I don't know what the fuck I was thinking, but I walk up to her, and I'm like, I was like, so and so, yeah, she's a bitch, and she oh no, that's when it wasn't what I said. I said, so and so. I was like, she really hates you.
You said it to Lindsay.
She said some really horrible shit to you.
Oh no! You're like, I'm going to bond with this girl by siding
over
with her.
something negative.
No,
and you know what? She looked at me and she goes, she was probably, I don't even know, half cocked too. And she looked at me and she was like, you should have heard what she said about you.
Oh my! Wait, who are you talking? You can't say who you're talking about.
Who do you think I'm talking about?
I'm so bad about this stuff. Who? No.
I don't want to.
I don't. You don't say that.
People can figure it out.
I bet they will figure it out. I'm too dumb to even remember. Was it somebody?
It doesn't matter. Okay. It doesn't matter.
You can find me in the club.
But
why was you need?
But that's what I'm trying to say. It's like I was so socially awkward, but my go-to as a female in the 2000s was to shit on another woman. Like that was how I wanted to bond with somebody. Lilo put me in my place and she was right for doing that.